When we get a doll in for testing, the first thing we want to do is we're screening it with technology called infrared spectroscopy. This device is the same thing that's used at the port by the investigators to look for possible violations to begin with. When we get a sample in, we want to take a look at each component part. So we have the head is one type of plastic and the body is another type of plastic. We want to take a sample of each component part and we'll analyze it with this instrument. This will give us an answer, yes or no, is there possible phthalates or not. I'm going to insert our infrared spectrometer. I'll hit go, and then after about 30 seconds we get a result saying there's could be phthalate content, or it's a different type of plastic, or there's probably not phthalate content. Just by picking up a doll and looking at it, there's really no way to determine if there could be phthalates present or not. As you can see, we've got positive hits for different types of phthalate. This instrument gives us a general idea. These are the possible phthalates that are present. At this point, our investigators, this would be a red flag, and they would send it in for further testing. We're punching small pieces out of the sample. We'll collect that. The next step is we're adding different solvents. The first solvent is called tetrahydrofuran. This solvent will actually dissolve the pieces of plastic and we end up with a cloudy liquid. We add another liquid solvent called hexanes. That actually precipitates the plastic out, so we get a solid on the bottom. Eventually the solid particles will drop down out of solution, and then left in the top liquid layer will be the phthalates. We'll filter the liquid to get rid of any last solid bits. And then we're ready for our final instrumentation, which is gas chromatography mass spectrometry. And we can eventually quantify to determine how much phthalate content was in our initial solution. Yep, so it pulls a small amount of liquid out of the vial. Now it'll move it over and put it into the hot oven of the gas chromatograph. Okay, so once our sample's injected, it's actually sent into a 30-meter long gas chromatography column. This is essentially a 30-meter long tube. The sample's vaporized and it travels around in circles. Some molecules in the mixture like to stick on the walls, some don't. This creates a separation, and eventually all the molecules move out into the next section, which is the mass spectrometer. So now that we have our sample data results, we're going to start looking through and doing a qualitative analysis. And using these values, we can do an identification. And here we'll learn that the peak that we're looking at is particular band phthalate that we have targeted. They were flagged at the ports for possibly having phthalate content in the doll heads. They were sent to lab here. We were able to do a full analysis, and in this case we have a band phthalate, which is nicknamed DEHP. This is one of our targeted phthalates, so this is in violation of the law. Just being able to go out there and protect American consumers from unreasonable risk and harm helps me sleep at night, helps them sleep better at night, just knowing that there won't be these types of problems.